Kia ora. Sure, I understand that all children are vulnerable and that in that regular way that children are vulnerable, Summer Wells was too. I can also see that she is a child that seemed to be in extra dangerous situations in a way, not only because her parents use AOD, not only because they live in an isolated area, not only because mum seems inattentive in general and selfish. I can't judge the relationship she had with her daughter based on images. However, there's also a lot of undesirables living around the home, indeed next door and in the area. I can fully see how Summer could have been abducted by a stranger or just someone from the area, possibly known even in a vague sense to the family, or just someone who knows of them because they are neighbours or live in the area. But there's something that I really am struggling with right now that just I keep coming back to. And it's, I think it's very telling. So not only do we have someone who maybe, look, it could be described, Candus's constant changing story could be described as self-preservation and as not wanting to be judged for inattentiveness and not wanting to be blamed. Because look, if an abduction has happened, a stranger's come to their property and taken Summer, this is a dreadful tragedy, okay? And she should not be worried about whatever people are thinking. Just find her daughter, right? Not hide for 2 weeks and then come out with a whole lot of bullshit. Because, the sons were first watching YouTube, then they're playing video games, then they're watching TV. The door was unlocked, strangely, but they've told Dotson on Unmasked in his interview, he has said no, they said it was locked, the basement door. There's so many anomalies. And it just doesn't seem maternal for a mother to be more concerned about you thinking that she's taken her eye off the ball rather than just fighting to find her daughter. And this is the thing. Candus documents everything. She's very attached to a phone, as many of us are. It can be an awkward feeling not to have it. So whether or not you're using it all the time, you just like to know that you've got your phone there, you've got your tool, you've got your connection. But Candus not only needs to have her phone with her, it seems. She's using it not just maybe to watch things or to connect, but she's taking photographs and she's filming and she's uploading to Facebook and to TikTok. And she does this in so many things that she's doing throughout the day, right? And quite often her subject is her daughter Summer, whether you think this is exploitative or not. This is what Candus Bly does. Where are the photos or the videos, the TikToks of Candus, Candy and Summer planting these damn flowers? You cannot tell me that this would not have been documented had it happened. Candus can show us this film of Summer in the car. Somebody from Hawkins County gave some film to True Crime Rocket Science where he has traced the steps and he's found the yellow sign and the double pole that Candus goes past in that short video clip with Summer in the back seat. And it's near their home, and the time frame would be about right for them having left Ellie's home, where H lives, and to be nearly home to Ben Hill Road, right? So at 3:09. So that's quite a long sleep for a little girl. So surely she's woken up. She wants to be involved in the planting of flowers. We're told that she was there doing this and that the family were doing this together while the boys were on YouTube, playing video games, watching TV, whichever it is. And another thing about that, Dotson on Unmasked, Dotson the flautist, he said that he was told, the door downstairs was locked, when we've been told it was strangely unlocked that one day. It being locked means there's only one route out of the house by a door if you're not going in and out of windows. But he also said he was shown some video by Candus of the boys in summer swimming in some water, swimming and playing. And he had the impression, Candus let him have the impression, that that was the day of June 15th. So this is quite queer. So we've got the film of Summer in the back seat. I mean, if she even wants to take photos of Summer in the back seat sleeping sweetly, then she would be taking photos of her planting flowers. What a cute little photo that would be, right? There's little hands getting muddy, this metaphorical washing of hands that we're told about by Candus, but getting muddy, planting flowers, mud on her face maybe, little daisies. Oh, I mean, how adorable would that be, right? Summer is so adorable. How could someone resist taking images of that? The mother that posts everything, her child on the swing, her child dancing in the rain, her child cuddling a puppy, whatever it is, right? And I fail to see how Grandma Candy doesn't have a smartphone or a camera and hasn't taken photos of this too. Perhaps they've given this documentation over to TBI. Do you find it very strange that Candus hasn't gone, look, here she is. This is my daughter, Summer, planting flowers with us, okay? Here's the TikTok I made. Hadn't uploaded it yet. I mean, I know this is strange because I normally upload my TikToks immediately. I mean, Candus she films, she maybe edits them sometimes, but then these things are up, right? And if they're not up, surely she'd have it. I can't see how she doesn't have footage of Summer and how she doesn't want the world to see her daughter, Summer Moon Utah Wells, planting flowers in memoriam for Rosemary Bly. No matter what we believe about what Candus thinks or feels about Rosemary Bly, the missing sister, Candy's daughter. And wouldn't Candy think it's special to be there with her granddaughter planting these flowers? Or, is the grief something that she can't share with anyone in that family because Candus is so hostile about it? I don't know. But I just find this unbelievable. This is what I keep coming back to. I can't move past the weird feeling that I get that there's no photo. It looks like they've taken photos after the fact, and they could have planted that. Those flowers look like they're thrown in haste. They could have done that at any time, because I nearly don't believe Candus unless there's documentation. I mean, yeah. Forget self-preservation, right? With trying to make out like you're the perfect parent that has 100% attentiveness toward your child, like somehow this was a terrible trick by the most sly, most plotting, evil person, who has pulled off this great heist. I think, yes, look, someone could have been waiting on the edge of the grass and crept up out of the cover of the woods and nabbed little Summer, especially if Summer walked off down the grass hill. Of course Summer covered that grassy knoll on foot many times. Why would she not? She could have been throwing a ball for puppies, dogs, and gone off to get it when they didn't fetch it. anything, right? But I just can't believe that there's no coverage of this flower planting. And I can't get over that metaphorical image, that image of we washed our hands. We washed hands. We washed the mud off our hands. You know, and the blaming on these, and the using of these three sons as witnesses by putting them in the picture as having seen Summer, even if it's for a second, and as having spoken about Summer, as having gone downstairs. It looks, to me, it's like they're being used as alibis. Surely they would have more I don't know, maybe not, but these boys were outdoorsy as well. You can't tell me they're not. Motorcycles, they love the swimming, they're of an age where they're out rough and tumble. And sure, yes, these things, YouTube, television, video games, they are very compelling to children, but this was one of the more beautiful days. I think it was a warm day surrounded by slightly cooler days. All three of them just wanted to be inside together at the exact moment Summer's walking in, just to be seen for those few seconds, never to be seen again. It's like they're being forced to be in the picture and to be witnesses rather than protected. It's Candus that said to Dotson on Unmasked, in his interview with Unmasked, he said it's Candus that has told him the boys have seen Summer. But he has spent time going to put, as they call it in the States, putt, mini golf. He's taken them on another outing to an aquarium, to a aquatic park, which is where maybe, you know, there's swimming pools and water slides and things like that in Kingsport. All of these times they haven't told him. He's saying that they haven't actually said they saw Summer or not saw Summer. He hasn't talked to them about it. That's queer. I'd want to know. I'd be asking them. Would I be then relaying it on a YouTube channel interview? No, I'd be going to the police. But who, you know, it's all very queer. I just can't believe. I think, Candus, show us the photos. Show us the last photos on your camera. You know, after 3:09. What's on there? I hope TBI have confiscated. I'm sure they have. So it's very strange. It's very strange. And wouldn't that phone show data of where they went? Would phone data show that they stopped for a period of time en route? I don't know. I mean, if 3:09, if they're going in the right direction towards the Ben Hill home at 3:09 and Summer's in the car, she made it home. So was she just not being watched? Was she downstairs alone? I mean, it's interesting. Don he just needs to know that she's not locked in a basement somewhere. I mean, this is weird too, right? Locked in a basement. Was she put downstairs and locked downstairs? And was she there for 1 or 2 hours? And did she have water in her lungs? Did she dry drown? And the guilt is that nobody was watching her. She couldn't have come up if she tried. Or did she try coming up out of the basement when she was feeling ill? And she couldn't get out. She was locked in the basement. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to blame Donald and Candus, but, and I know you shouldn't say but it's just so queer. It's just so troubling. Everything that they're doing and saying, you know. It does seem quite often that Donald Wells is repeating the crazy story that Candus has just told him. Why he would be so loyal to her, I'm not sure, because she loves to play games with Don. She loves to torture him. She's probably making herself very butch because maybe he has penile dysfunction. She is dissatisfied. She doesn't want to be attractive to him. She wants to goad him with her gangster look, or maybe she genuinely likes that sort of thing, but maybe this is such a bone of contention to, between them, because he does like feminine woman. He has ideas about how women should be. He called Summer a young lady, which is very inappropriate, I think, for a 5-year-old child. A 5-year-old child is a girl, a child, not a young lady. And, that's 10 years before the time. But is this how, Don sees people, girls, is he a projector? Does he project older children and people's feelings and desires and personas, etc., onto young girls? I don't know. But I just, there's obviously a dynamic there where I don't know. They're both stuck in it together or something like that. I'm not sure. But it was very strange. Don having that little boy there with him at the interview. The first, I think this is the oldest son, actually, 12-year-old, having his boy there. It seemed aggressive nearly, the way that he had him there and was forcing him in front of the camera, boy with his head down. The prayer meeting was very telling as well. The first prayer vigil where the youngest son, who looks quite a lot like Summer, doesn't he? He's looking up going, this is very bizarre and this is so unusual. We've never done this before. And he was telling us that this is ludicrous. My parents aren't like this. Mum's not like this. Are we really doing this? This is unusual. This is uncomfortable. And fair enough, he's a young boy. He's being forced to fake a prayer vigil, okay? There's nothing heartfelt. It's all self-preservation, and this could just be from knowing that you've been inattentive, that you haven't done the right thing. Because why? Because maybe you took a few pills, you're drunk. The fate of your child should override anything like that. I mean, hopefully when, the time comes, Summer will be charged, as she should be, for providing alcohol to a minor. Anyway, look, I just need to trust that authorities have the times and dates of where everyone was, who was there when, who was actually at Walgreens, what time was this, who was actually at a hospital, what time was this, and that they have got the timeline that we all desperately want. But, there's talk of corruption as well, isn't there? And, of course, there's going to be when things just seem to drag out and you don't seem to have the right information. Because if somebody really was in this red truck, if there's anything to be said for what Candus has told everyone about the red truck being found interstate without plates on it, the owner of that truck, there should be a wanted call put out for the person, the owner of that red truck. This person looks like this. He is wanted in relation to the disappearance of Summer Wells, because they've asked about this red truck early on, and now we get rumours that it's interstate without license plates, and yet the law zippity zip. So are they really trying to help find Summer Wells? If they can't release the face of the person that we need to be looking for, that might be dangerous or that might have Summer Wells with them. So it's very hard to know what to believe in this case, because it's funny, we understand that in the world there's corruption. There are groups and societies of people that damage children. We understand that parents do damage children. We understand that all of these things, and yet every time we look at it, we're supposed to say, no, this is an exception. This is one of that smaller percent. If this was the case, these things aren't true. Families don't usually harm children. There aren't usually societies or people that have shared interest in harm. There's not corruption, right? Because if you're never seeing it, if every time, oh, we know it exists, but you can't say it's the case here, then it means that it's very rare, rather than the statistics that we are given that show that these things are common. For example, when a child is Summer's age, the most likely scenario is someone from her family is responsible, then someone known, connected to the family through church, through community in other ways, just through friendships. We know that Summer was made extra vulnerable because of the shenanigans happening at the home at Ben Hill Road, the people that were there, the partying. Many people got to see that there was a little girl there who might not necessarily be as safe as she should. She was very vulnerable. So, anything could have happened. Parents could feel guilt just because they know they haven't been looking after her in the right way. And yes, sometimes dirtbags just win, and the most attentive, loving of parents can have tragedy strike in their family to their children. Elizabeth Smart, for example, because she was taken from her bed. So that was unusual because she was a little bit older, and normally statistics would show she might be then within quarter of a mile of her home, taken from the street or outside school, something like that. But indeed, and look, see, and the neighbour thing, this happens. Look at Faith Fetlick, little Faye. She was outside just for a short time in a more suburban area, a little bit more built up, obviously, than Ben Hill Road. But there Faye was just outside playing, and the young guy that lived in the neighbourhood, this opportunist, and she would have been dead very quickly after being snatched. There's plenty of people around Summer Wells who could have coveted her, and who could have taken an opportunity. Could be someone that's watching Candus's TikTok. Yeah, but anyway, the point of this video, and it was supposed to only be 5 minutes long, was just to say, where the fuck is the TikTok of Summer Wells planting flowers with her mother and grandmother? Where is even one single photo? I fail to see how Candus would not be rushing to post this. What do you think? Do you agree? See you later.